Good afternoon, I'm Dwayne Carpenter, Sports Information Director here at West Virginia Wesleyan, and joining me for the Men's Soccer Coaches Corner is Head Coach Gavin Donaldson. Gavin, thanks for being here this afternoon.
Thanks, man.
Your team had a good week last week. They began in a huge non-conference game, 4-1. They struck first with 2 goals in the first 5 minutes, and then you finished the week off with a 5-0 win over Salem. But could you go back and talk about that Gannon win? I know that's just a huge regional win and a non-conference win for your team.
Yeah, Gannon year in, year out, it's a very good team. I think we caught them on the day. I'll be fair to them, that probably wasn't their best effort, but we certainly came out and played better than I've seen us play attacking soccer for the last couple of weeks. And you know, there's a couple things with that. I think part of that, we finally gotten one of our players that we haven't had available to us this year playing, Alex Redford in the middle of midfield, and he's such a calm, patient distributor of the ball that makes a big difference. And Brett Falkenthal has just continued to score goals for us, and that's something that we expect out of him, but it's not always an easy thing to do. And he's in a rhythm right now, and I think when you've got those two things going, everything seems to flow pretty well. And that was just a great overall game by the entire team that night.
Okay. Then moving on to Salem, for those not aware, Salem only showed up with 7 players. Player went down at 70-minute mark, so the game was official at the 70-minute mark. It was 5-0. I know that was a game. It was a downpour. You got everybody out of the game healthy, and you were able to play your reserves quite a bit. Anything on that game?
Well, the intent of that game is knowing that they only were able to show up with that many players. The idea was to get 70 minutes in, make it an official game. Certainly not embarrass them any more than I'm sure they already felt with not having a full squad. So there's no sense in running up the score at that point, and I didn't want to do that. While it did give us a chance to get some of our reserves in, honestly, it doesn't do much for us from the standpoint that when you've only got 6 players you're playing against basically on the field, you don't play the way you normally would. So it's not a situation where you've got something you can take advantage of. It's something that was presented. Both teams did the best they could with the officials and coaches to make it a game that at least no one got hurt, and we got out of that as best we could. I really think that's about all you can say there.
Okay. Your team now stands at 4-4-1. They've got a big road swing coming up, probably with your next 4 on the road. But looking forward to this week, you're at Concord, which is another key WVIC matchup, and then you travel to Shippensburg this weekend. What's in store for your Bobcats this week? I know Concord can be a dangerous team.
Oh, absolutely. Last time we played them down at their place, we missed out going to the national tournament. So I haven't forgotten that. That was back in 2002. So I'm certainly looking forward to it, but also realizing and letting the team know that anything can happen. I mean, yeah, we're at a point where we're 5-5 right now, games, and that we've got next 5 away, and then the last 5 at home, and we're not going to look beyond this one coming up Wednesday. I mean, they are a formidable opponent that plays very well on their home field. We've always had a game from them and struggled at times down there. So hopefully that's when we can get down in there, play well again. We should have all of our players available, and hopefully we do that. And then we've got to go out to Shippensburg and play on the turf this Saturday. This spring they played very well against us. And have now got some confidence. But on the other hand, there are a couple of games that we're looking at. We'd like to go 2-0 this week. I mean, that is what we are going to set out to do, and get ourselves to 6-4-1 overall, and then think about things after that.
Okay. Earlier you mentioned Brett Falkenthal. He's a senior from Pittsburgh. He currently is on a 7-game scoring streak. He scored 8 goals in those 7 games. Could you just talk a little bit about his play and his leadership up front for this team?
Well, he's a striker. I mean, and they need to score goals. That's their job, and if they're not doing it, then you need to find somebody else. Fortunately for us, Brett has come back this year, fit again, active, and he's got a nose for the goal. He probably, without putting too much pressure on him, probably should have a lot more. But it's difficult to expect that all the time with strikers, because they do have a tough job. But he is doing what we expect, and are thankful that he's doing it, because he's giving us the goals we need them, and hopefully that spreads and we get some more guys involved in that. But he's had an outstanding year so far, I think, and certainly, last year him being named to the first team all-conference was not a fluke, and I hope that that's something that if he continues, he'll receive that honor and regional honors again.
Okay. One other player I'd like to mention, I think that had a good week, Ryan McDougall, your sophomore goalie, making his first start of the year against Gannon, and really came up big for you.
Yeah, he did. Dukes actually came up with a couple of goal savers. Absolutely, he was tested, and it's tough for a young man who's spent time sitting behind starting keepers right now. But again, that's what training does. You train every day and you prepare every day as if you're going to go in to the nets, and he's done that. He's ready. I think after the initial shock a little bit up at Lake Erie, where he had to go in partway through. He's done an outstanding job, and he's certainly going to provide us with a lot of confidence regardless of which keeper we play.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to add on this upcoming week?
No.
Okay. All right. Coach Donaldson, I appreciate you being here. For Coach Donaldson, I'm Dwayne Carpenter. We'll see you next week on the Coach's Corner.